All righty. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everyone. Welcome back to the Coaches Union. Now with video. Alex, how are you doing, man?
Coming live. Well, not really, but also it's live right now.
Yeah.
I'm fucking great, man. I'm excited to finally have some video. We've been getting a lot of people asking for like visuals. I don't know. I mean, I know we're pretty attractive humans, but I mean, I didn't know it was like such a big demand.
Dude, I just like already can feel the anxiety just building up slightly, knowing that this is video.
Dude, the problem we're gonna have is like me and you used to could like make eye contact on when to like stop
Ah,
talking, and now we can't hide
we're gonna have to like edit this now, and that's
that.
gross.
Yeah. So we're gonna just try not to mess up and try not to throw people under the bus or say things that we don't need to say. We've got that, and we got to get it. We got to get an intro. Like we got to get some music.
Okay. If you guys want to give us some feedback as to what songs you would want to hear, please let me know. I'm also going to practice looking at the camera instead of at my screen. This is going to be a learning experience for all of us, to say the least. But if you have a song choice, please let us know.
Yeah. So you ready to unveil what's on topic for today?
Yeah, we got quite a few things we're going to talk about. So, we're going to discuss defining success beyond the physical appearance, color theory when it comes to females choosing their suit color, cheat meals during prep. I'd love to have one as I'm withering away 3 days in. Glaring differences in prize winnings, and then men's physique boycotting the Arnold. And then what poses would you add, subtract, or change from each division? So, from the top, defining success beyond physical appearance. What do you got, Alex?
On physical appearance. There's so much that's such like in depth, right? Like there, I should have made a list on that. So, beyond physical appearance.
You want me to start?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So whenever, because obviously we're all getting into this space with the ideal that we're going to obviously improve how we look aesthetically, right? Like I got into because I was super fat. You were also super fat, which is lore that we continue to bypass. Um, but with that being said, like when we guide an athlete or a client through this process, we can't just immediately say, "Hey, all of our value in this process is being put on your appearance," because it takes weeks, months, years, even decades to get to whatever that end goal may be. So we have to like systemize how we're going to approach victories throughout the process, because I do believe one has to come before the next. So for me, it's let's look at quality of life. Are you sleeping better since starting the plan? Are you shitting better since starting the plan? Are you moving better since starting the plan? Those to me are the first things that need to be celebrated, because it's signs that your body's wanting to be in a happier and healthier state. What would you say?
Yeah, so there's so many avenues to go about this, but like I think about when I'm in, and we kind of touched on this, but when you're in a prep and you become so much more efficient at life and you're so
Mm-hmm.
like you have this hunger to do more and to achieve more. And so the foundation principles of bodybuilding essentially is like consistency and effort, like those two. And it's just getting comfortable being uncomfortable. You can then take every aspect of bodybuilding and apply it to other things
Mm-hmm.
like business or work or family and relationships or other hobbies that you may have. So the I think the discipline that you take from a prep and from an off season, and it's that's probably one of the greatest wins. Like that's not like a physical thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, you look at us coaching, like you look at me in school, or you look at other people getting six, seven figure businesses and stuff that used to be bodybuilders. Like it's all the same like time, effort, and consistency that they're just putting in day after day, and it all stemmed from bodybuilding.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's huge. But then, like you touched on, when it comes to like just your body, like I coach some older, masters people, right? And so I tell them, like, hey, I will have you compete as long as you want, as long as like you have a good job, you're not like abandoning your family, you're not out like cheating on your spouse, you're not, ignoring your kids just to go compete at a local middle school or high school. Like I'm as like real as because like you're not going to be that 40, 50, 60-year old chasing like that dream and
Mhm.
just giving the finger to the rest of your life. And
Yeah.
so I think that that comes back to this that like what do you have in check in your life now? And so I have that same talk with athletes who are young. As dude, I coach 17, 18, 20-year olds. And I'm like, hey, enjoy this physique ride, but please, like, let's establish something else for your life because I don't want you like me, 27 years old and not knowing what to do. And then bodybuilding's coming to an end because
Yeah.
that's a scary spot to be in. And so I think that's another thing that you can have as a win or that's significant outside of physical appearance is understanding in your role in life and in your community and finding what you want to do. And I think, me, I know I'm a perfect example of like I love bodybuilding. I pay attention to it every day. I train all the time. I still eat my meals, but like I'm not a successful bodybuilder. But I was able to take that love and passion, and I'm a very successful bodybuilding coach.
Mhm.
And so like you may not be the bodybuilder, but you could be a coach, a posing coach, a photographer. Like there's so much you could be a promoter, a judge. Like there's so much you can still do within this space that's far beyond just what you look like.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think I see too many people, um, various ages, to your point, like either very young or kind of like on the latter end of age, that like throw it all away for this, right?
Yeah.
Like I know a guy who quit his corporate job. He's got a wife and two kids, quit his corporate job at like late 40s to pursue bodybuilding. And the best he's done is like second call outs and heavies. Right. And it's like, dude, we've got it's one thing, like if you are in your, early 20s and you are by yourself and you don't have any really like people relying on your responsibilities, by all means, be as selfish as you want towards this endeavor. That being said, and this is something we talked about, I think, last episode, like bodybuilding is only a lot if you make it a lot. If it is as simple as I'm going to go do my fasted cardio for 30 minutes, I'm going to go train after work, I'm going to make sure my meals are packed the night before, that's it. Like in the grand scheme of things, that is legitimately all that this entails. Now, obviously, in show prep, it's more time consuming, um, but it's still one, it's a choice, but two, it's not as overcomplicated as sometimes we make it out to be, especially if you have a good coach. Like you're just handed a plan, you just do what you need to do. And I've seen people like quit jobs. They're like, well, I can't work full time in bodybuild. Yeah, you can. We all have, we all do. So I think that's something that we all need to, I think, fixate a little bit more on is making sure that you are a well-rounded human, not just like a really good regional bodybuilder.
Yeah, and it goes like because the thing with like just relying solely on your looks is your looks change. Like
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's the people who struggle with the we're never happy. Like good competitors are never happy. You're gonna be in the off season, you're gonna want to prep. You're gonna be prep and you're gonna want to grow. Like so relying on that one tangible thing of like a good looking physique, like your physique is always gonna have to get better. That's
Mm-hmm.
why we have these talks on enjoying the process much more than like the outcome, because regardless of how amazing you're gonna look, like Nick Walker still has to get better in some areas. And like
Yeah.
no one listening to this podcast is as good as Nick Walker. So it's like you can't just hone in on that one thing. And I tell people in their off season, I'm like, you need to find something else. Like you
Yeah.
need to find something you like to do. Now I'm not saying it has to be like physical because I've seen that's a whole other topic. Like you see people just go do completely different sports. It's like, hey, that's taking away from bodybuilding. But like find stuff that you're into that is entertaining for you and fun for you outside of just this. And it helps your longevity like last longer because you're not so like honed in on this process every single day, like mentally. Like
Yeah.
you can still easily do your day-to-day stuff and have a full-time job or be in school or, be if you enjoy painting or, collecting candles or like whatever it is you like to do. Like there's so much more time in the day. And that's where I messed up as an athlete, man. Like I used to cater my days. Like I would train clients in the morning, I would work security at night. And then, but like, dude, my whole like around training was like, okay, I have to nap, I have to get up, I have to have the pre-workout meal. That takes an hour because I'm watching Dallas McCarver videos. Then
Hmm.
it's like this whole process ends up being like 4 hours just to
Hmm.
go to the gym.
Yeah.
And like, while it was so cool at that time, I lost so much time where if now like I could go back, I would just be like, oh, okay, it's time to go train. All right, let's go train. And then you lock in and you go. And so I think that's something that if I could do differently, which I know that's not even the question, that's something that I would do is like be more efficient with my time day to day.
Yeah, but I will say to play devil's first of all, do you collect candles? How did that come to mind?
I don't know, Chris. I don't fucking know. I'm trying to think of like what normal people do. My
I just didn't know if you
normal,
collected candles. I'm just asking.
dude, I mean, I have a candle right here actually. It's Spiced Woods Vanilla Saffron. I mean, dude,
Wow.
that fucks.
Yeah, I'm more of a like mahogany teak wood kind of candle guy, but
Yeah.
we all have our preferences.
But no, I just because like my alternative was like, let's just go do another intense sport. So like
Yeah. Yeah.
that doesn't really work.
Yeah. Well, I think too, like, oh, I had a point with that, and now I think I've lost it because I was fixated on candles. Um, it'll come back to me. Keep going.
Yeah, like, I had a client, she loves horses. I was like, that'd be awesome. Why don't you go like take up horseback riding all season? Why don't you go, like there's so much you can do, I think the candles came up because it's like, okay, well, we still can't really go drink and we can't do, but like, you can do other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh no, the point was your ritual. I think it is very important to be that neurotically obsessed about something for at least a period of your life. Like that, right? Like you have to, especially to me, if like you're going to be a coach and lead in this, like you have to be so enveloped in this, right? And
Mhm.
this was a conversation I was having with an athlete. You look at the people, like take any hobby sport, whatever, let's say soccer. I guarantee a majority of the best soccer players out there know about Rooney when he played for Manchester United 15 years ago, or know about X player from X team from X time, right? Like, generally speaking, the people who see, in my opinion, who excel the most at whatever they do, it's because they are ever consumed with it, even
Right.
if like from a historical perspective, because they're just so interested in it. So, like, I've actually gone back to those roots that you're talking about of like watching YouTube videos of training before I go to the gym because I like looked back at my first prep and I was like, this is what I would do,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, it helps. I'm trying to like not smile because there's I got sent this meme the other day, but I put I put I watch YouTube before I eat anything. Like I have to. I have to be watching something while I eat. And so my point was I took too long.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
would block like instead of like 30 minutes before you leave for the gym, I would do like an hour and a half. And like it would take up a whole block of my day.
Yeah.
And when I stopped bodybuilding but still could have like good workouts, I was like, wow, I don't want to say I put too much pressure on it, but I think
Mhm.
I did. Like
Yeah.
but I don't want to say that and then people be like, "Oh, well, okay, yeah, coach says I can just, just chew bubble gum in the parking lot and then come in and train." Like I'm not saying that. Like
Yeah.
I was a psychopath, so, it's a little different.
Yeah. No, that makes sense though. I think I don't even know if we really answered the fucking question, dude.
Yeah, dude, funny, like
I
look,
think
listen, this is one of those like short answer questions on a test. We kind of know the answer, but we're really just filling in some
we're
space.
we're workshopping it right now.
We're gonna get credit. All right.
Yeah, if you guys can't tell, we don't rehearse before. We just go.
Yeah.
Um, I think there's a lot of things that you can use to define success beyond the physical. Let's go back to that. As far as like appearance. like if you're getting stronger in the gym consistently, that's really fucking cool. The other thing to consider is within the movements that you're doing, each of those is a skill and it takes time to master that. So if you're becoming more proficient at exercise execution, that's something to be proud of. You feeling better, that's something to be proud of. Like I work with, a very diverse group of people that I love. And I work with a lot of people who are more self-deprecating than myself, and I consider where I'm at like the baseline. Like this is where you're allowed to be. If you're worse than that, we got to get you to at least here at minimum.
Yeah.
And so even that, like I've got like one of my clients who's been doing great with her weight loss journey. She's it's almost 380 pounds at one point. She's down to like 190, and like though I'm obviously very happy with the scale wins, I'm more happy with the check-in that she did where she's like, hey, I'm actually like proud of myself for once, you know.
Yeah, and so that's something that I don't know if it's a reflection. It's partial reflection of the physique, but like when you start noticing clients smile in their check-ins, that it's because they feel better, and
Yeah.
that's probably the biggest win. Um, they it's more they're proud of their look rather than, oh, I'm in a size X pant or I have this size bicep. It's like just their overall demeanor changes. And like
Mhm.
you'll have some people like over time talk down to them like, oh, you've changed, like you're this, you're that now, or whatever. And it's like, yeah, like they should change. Like they're a better person now. Like they're not arrogant, they're proud of what
Yeah.
they're doing, you know? And so, yeah, I think the emotional changes and the pride and the accomplished feeling that comes with the physical change is huge. You know,
Yeah.
obviously you can, control your ego, but like because we've seen people go off the rails with that, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think, the ones who are genuine, the ones on our team, they keep it cool.
Yeah. And I think with that, it's like, and I talk about it a lot. I think there's a lot of driving forces for what's going to change a physique. And I will be the first to say, I think self deprecation isn't always a bad thing, depending on the duration and severity of it. I can say in the 13 years I've been lifting weights, Jesus Christ, um, most of it has been driven by hate, right? Like, and a lot of it, especially in the beginning years. And over time, it's changed, right? And now I've been able to, learn this whole idea of like two things can be true, and that I can be proud of where I've come from, but still want to achieve more. And it doesn't have to be exclusively one or the other.
Yeah.
So my driving force is continuing to shift and alter, and that's what I'm trying to teach others is like, dude, like you can use that for a period of time, and that's okay, but it can't be the only way that you get out of this because you're not going to ever value what you've done if it's always comma but
Yeah.
X, Y, and Z, right? But on the flip, and you also can't just be like, one of our friends I've talked about, I'm like, dude, go in the gym and think you're the biggest dick in the room. Like have that moment for yourself
Yeah.
there and then never and don't show it off again. You know what I mean? Like there's a time and a place to have like, especially as an athlete, I think you have to have some amount of cockiness, like
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah, because it was at the point like in our group chat, the whole like, I'm trying to get like you. It wasn't even funny anymore. It's
No, it was
like,
kind of demeaning. Like,
yeah, it's like, hey man, like we used to could like fuck around, but now like be quiet. Like it's not cool.
yeah,
So,
it's tone deaf is what
yeah,
it is. Like, but yeah, it's like, what's this worth if you can't at least like look at yourself sometimes and go, good job, man? Because it's like, what's your buy-in? You have to have your own buy-in, and there has to be some sense of return on investment, or you're not going to do it. And so it's like I think people are fearful of like I was so fearful for so long that if I felt any moment of pride, then complacency was to follow. That
yeah,
was always that's how my brain was wired, and it's something I'm still working on. Where it would be like it wouldn't even be like stop and smell the roses type deal, just like taking a breath, and I'd be like, can't do that, you
yeah,
know.
yeah,
And I think that's the sport is all about longevity from a physical internal health perspective, but also especially mental. And I don't think if you're gonna burn your I burnt myself the fuck out treating myself like that, you know?
yeah. Then like so like as your coach, like I can speak on it. That fits you very well, and like we've talked about that. Like we've talked about how like we haven't seen you at 100 turned up like full nos, like let's go, because you find that like it's almost like you get scared to do it. I don't know why, but like you get very happy at that 85, 90, and you're like,
Mhm.
yeah, fuck, that was good. And then you're like, all right, well, let me go back, like let me chill so I can do this again.
I think
And
it's the chase.
yeah, like you love that high of like, and so, with you, like I said, as your coach can coaching you, it's like, hey, like you can't get enjoyment and fulfillment off of like it's good enough.
Yeah.
You've now got to be like, I'm it. Like this is my 100. And dude, it could be like, and this is an extreme thought. Like John Jones used to like towards the end of his like run at light heavyweight is when he would start partying more and more because the names he was facing was so like below him. He had beat everyone in the Hall of Fame already, but he started like he'd be doing lines of blow like the week before a fight, out partying until early in the morning. And part of it was because he didn't, if he did eventually lose, the dude's like 30-0 or something, he could finally have something to point at it and be like, well, that's why, rather than like, no, I was my all, because you ride that high for so long, it's almost like a safety net. And
Oh,
then
dude, a million percent. Thank you for therapizing me publicly. I mean, it's true though. Like I've talked to my therapist about it. What it comes from is like, it's because I'm a control freak. And so if I fuck up, I fuck up, and that's fine because
yeah,
I can face those repercussions, and so be it. I think being my last coaching experience, I felt so betrayed from that it was a challenge going to you because I say not going to you, but like in that process, because the fear was okay, if I fully trust in this again and it fucks off, that's going to suck again. Um, so I think that's definitely a part of it. I think that's, but I think how I went about that was I chose instead of substances, I chose process addictions that prep and just chose to work myself relentlessly to death.
yeah,
That
yeah,
makes sense, right? So I think I've obviously feel as if I've grown a lot since 2023 in that, right? And like this is the time where we've had the conversations, but I was like, if I'm doing this, I'm doing this 1,000,000%, and we're gonna actually see this one
yeah.
come to fruition. But yeah, I definitely think it's coming from like a safety net. It's like, well, if I didn't give a fuck, it doesn't matter, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And again, like not to like air that out for everybody, but also at the same time, so everyone listening can be like, someone as good as Chris can still have those thoughts or can still like, and like so it's good for people to hear because it's relatable. It's like you've been that athlete that's like, and we've talked about it on here, like that's like been told you're the pro, you're the pro, you're going pro, you're going pro. That's a lot. Like, it's a lot on you.
Yeah, man. It's like, dude, it's a blessing. And I say that because it means the world to me that people think that highly of me and my potential, especially like that I chose this craft to pursue for so long. But on the flip end, it's like the amount of pressure that it has created is out fucking rageous,
Mhm.
right? Like, because I won my first show, and from that point on, everybody's like, "Time to go pro." And I
Yeah.
go back and I look at my physique and like, dude, it was good at the flex, but then I look at it like 21, I was like, bullshit,
Yeah.
dude, bullshit.
You're like,
Like,
thanks, guys. Yeah.
I'm like, thanks guys for. I mean, like again, like potential is a great thing until once it's tapped into,
Yeah.
right? And I was around a lot of yes men and a lot of enablers and a lot of people who felt they could just kind of ease me off the gas and everything would work out.
Yeah.
And we saw where it ended up, not great. And then I met you, and
Yeah.
it's the opposite.
All this to say, Chris just started prep this week, so everybody, hold on.
Well, hold on, boys. I'm down like 9 pounds already.
Yeah.
Um, I'm loving it, dude. I've been hungry and I enjoy it. I have already annoyed the fuck out of Alex just because I felt I needed to pay my dues early enough before it got real. So I've let him know how hungry and tired and flat I am. But um, it feels good to be hungry for the first time in 15 months.
Yeah. Yeah. It's gonna be a fun prep. I don't know where that last question ended, but somewhere between that
Here we
and
are.
that's here we are. So, yeah, long story short, guys, your physique is not everything in bodybuilding.
Yep.
So,
And try to value it when you can, because one day you won't have it. Color theory when it comes to women athletes choosing the suit color. So I want to start this with, as I burp, I did not know because I'd recently had an athlete sign with me and we did a consultation call. And she asked me for her show. She's like, will you let me know ahead of time what color suit I need to buy and how I need to do my hair and makeup? And I said, excuse me. I didn't know that was common for coaches to decide that for their athletes.
hmm hmm
I was completely ignorant to that. Like,
Okay, as you level up, yes.
mhm,
Like when it's like the big when it's nationals, fuck yeah.
mhm.
All that shit matters.
Of course, yeah,
Would I stress someone over, like I'm always going to go for hair extensions on
yeah,
girls, bikini and wellness for sure. Um, but yeah, it's just something, and that's the thing is it's hard to describe, but you just have to have the look.
yeah,
And it goes beyond like, okay, do I like my hair straight? Do I like my hair curly? It goes beyond, well, I really like the color red, right?
yeah,
Like, and there's not a pattern or like color wheel that we can match, right? But I will say this, and this is a great example. If you see a brunette in a blue suit and you see a bleach Barbie blonde in a blue suit, like a turquoise, baby blue, whatever, Barbie blonde's probably going to look a little better in it.
yeah,
Like it's just what, and I don't know why or how, but that's probably going to look better. Probably the same factor is like um a green, like an emerald, is probably going to look better with like a darker hair, darker complexion girl
yep,
than a blonde. Again, I'm not saying you can't win or lose like being opposites and wearing that suit color, but it does play a part. And so like when the physiques are close, it's about like what is going to help.
right,
And so, nobody come on here and be, oh, well, I wore this and I won. Like, yes, like I'm sure like it can, like your physique overall is going to be this standard, right? And I'll use Abby as a perfect example. She wore pink. That was ballsy. That's a ballsy color. Not everybody can wear pink. Abby has this it factor to her that she can wear it and it just works.
yeah. It was more. It was like closer to like a. For those who haven't seen it, it wasn't like a Barbie pink or like a Pepto Bismol pink. It was like a fuchsia esque
Yeah.
pink. She's got dark hair. Like
Yes.
it generally speaking, like and women are going to know more about this than us. I mean, you're asking two fucking meatheads about color wheels. Like,
I'm, I'm
look,
5% gay at best.
I'm probably 15. But it's like I didn't shave today, so who? But anyways,
Yeah.
um, but generally speaking, what I would want to advise is looking at a color wheel and deciding what colors you prefer because everybody has like a preference. Like I'm a cool tone person. I am like blue, purple, greens, those types of deal. Me and yellow and orange, no sir, probably not because
Yeah.
I'm pale as all fucking hell. Um, but then also, I would always advise if you have the ability to find a local suit maker that you can go sit down and talk to and try on some suits and look at some color wheels and look at some samples. If you're in the South, I would go to Eye Candy 1,000,000%. Angela is the shit.
That's
And is very hands on with the sizing, fitting process. Like they make incredible suits. Um, but I would say, like, in my opinion, I probably wouldn't go like I'm going to order a suit off of this company's website that I have no direct contact with for your first suit.
yeah.
Um, I would definitely try to go to like I feel like most NPC seminars usually have at least one suit person there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Eye candy's by far the best.
yeah,
If you're local in the South, she's by far she's brought connectors to
yep,
shows the night before for me.
mhm,
She's expedited shipping things. She's brought suits to shows. Like goes the extra mile. And so I understand too, like renting suits is big. Like it's a huge, it's an expense for females. I'll be honest. Like renting a suit is not, the end of the world having to do that.
mhm.
Um, it just try it on because you're really not going to know until you try it on. And then you have to think, okay, you're also going to be tan too.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it goes, it is preference, but it's a lot more on like what is going to look good on you. And then also your personality. Like, if you're gonna like if you're a tomboy, well, like Barbie pink isn't probably gonna be your suit color.
Hmm.
But also black can't be your suit color either. So like we have to kind of, find a happy median. So like I've got she's a badass. She's doing bikini the first time and we picked this like emerald green with a little more dark like jewel
Hmm.
like black jewels on it and it looks really good. But like that fits her. Like she's in the military. Like she fucking likes to train. Like she likes that stuff. Like
Hmm.
while she's very pretty, she's not like just the glitz and the glam girl. So it just fits her.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's all encompassing. Like I said, I wish there was like a color wheel for it to like match you with it. But if you have a good person with your suit, like who's making your suit, you can talk to them about it, send them pictures of yourself, and then tell them what you like. Like I've had eye candy custom made Misties, and it was like a freaking mermaid, like
Yeah.
blue to pink to purple, like ombre style, like it just fades into different colors. That was badass.
Yeah.
So yeah, but you never know like until you see it on.
Mhm.
But definitely if you're gonna buy your suit, fucking love your suit. And
Yeah, you
like,
gotta love it.
yeah, try to wear it, more than once.
And I would say start the process way sooner than you think you should, as far as at least getting the ideas on paper and getting everything prepared. Right now, measurements is one thing, but as
Yeah.
far as like, I would recommend go to a show and look. I think that if we're using the most boiled down rule of thumb, if you're blonde, probably go towards lighter colors. If you're brunette or darker haired, probably go towards darker colors,
Mhm.
depending, and then kind of figure out what that looks like for you as far as your preference and the color and everything else. Same with jewelry too. Like you don't have to go out there decked out in jewelry. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I've seen women go out there with like, we got fucking four rings on each hand, we got two bracelets, we got ear, like that doesn't have to be you either, right? There's a level of um I think when people go out on stage, there's like different categories they kind of fall into and how they present themselves. Like there's some people who are very much like um showmen or show women and like
Yeah.
really present
Stand up.
themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there are other people who kind of go out there with a little bit more elegance. And I'm not saying the first person doesn't either, but it's more of like a the way I was thinking about it was like a figure competitor just walking out there. It's just this glide that's just so elegant to me, and it's very underspoken in a sense. Like there's a lot of ways that you can go out there. You don't have to go out there and be like fucking a cheerleader and like carry that persona.
Yeah, you don't have to like wink and blow kisses. You definitely have to smile, but you don't have to flirt. I don't want to say you don't have to flirt with the judges. You have to show some charisma and you have to show some like confidence on stage.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, I call it like like when the girls hit their transitioning out of their back pose and they kind of like side eye themselves down, like it's like they're checking themselves up and down, like for a second, like they're like looking down at it.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, oh, okay, like she's got it. But it's stuff like that, like you can't really point out. It's like a girl's gonna naturally know to do that. But like if you try to teach someone who's like kind of awkward and not really confident, they're gonna just fuck it up. So it's
They're
like,
gonna go, you
yeah,
know, like
yeah, but like you can get like you just see the girls can turn it on very fast.
yeah.
I would say above suit color is suit fit. Like I've seen girls with it looks like they're wearing a diaper on stage. And
Mm-hmm.
while yes, I know it's not supposed to be a G-string or whatever, but like if you don't have a lot of glute, you have to not cover as much glute because we need to see more glute.
Yeah.
And that's not me as a male speaking, that's me as someone who has passed test judging to know we have to see that shelf and that pop from off of your low back rounded and fullness in your glute. And so if you don't have a lot, well, then you need to make up for that by showing more.
Yeah.
If you think you're going to hide it, it's just going to look worse.
They can only judge what they can see.
Yeah. Same thing with tops. I've seen tops that like the boobs are just huge. Like they're just pushed up in their face. And it's like, you can't have that. Obviously, you can't really control how big your boobs are. Just like some girls, like if they have really small boobs, like you can't, like your top doesn't need to like eat you alive. Like you don't need to have like holes. Like there doesn't need to be any gap. Like it needs to fit. Like it needs to fit very well. So
Yeah.
be sure that you are getting sized properly and measured properly, and you try it on and even into the week of the show. And that's why it's important to have someone like an Angela with eye candy to like make those last minute adjustments where fuck, like I'm leaning out way faster and I got to take my bottoms in some, or gosh, I got to bring my lats are actually getting smaller. So now I need to tighten up my top. Like there's a lot that goes into it. Even down to like the connectors, like
Mhm.
what style those you get. Um, you know, hair and makeup, again, that goes more at the national level. I think the more hair, the better. You need to, it's just, again, there's no guideline or like scrapbook that we can make to say, hey, follow steps 1 through 5.
Mhm.
But you need to imagine like the person who is winning is the person who's going to look the best on a magazine or a poster that represents that division.
Yep.
And so you have to be photo shoot ready, both physique, hair, makeup, all that. Like it has to be on.
Yeah. 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 We've got it easy for sure.
Yeah.
I just got to slap on a pair of trunks.
Yeah. It's girls are very expensive to compete, but
Yeah. Ladies, I'm so sorry.
yeah.
Um, so the next thing, and this is just what I'm going to ask. So cheat meals and prep, Alex.
Hmm. Well, so I cut them for everybody at 16 weeks out. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, I don't start prep till 14 or 12. Well, you're not with me then. So carry on. But for and again, it's not that we don't get a cheat meal for 16 weeks. It's there strategically when I say so, right? You may have a birthday coming up at 11 weeks out that I may need to make room for, and yeah, okay, I'm gonna plan your cheat meal for then or whatever. You may be Chris and drop 9 pounds your first week of dieting, and I'm like, hey, let's have a cheat meal this weekend, and this is what it's going to consist of. It just needs to be in a more controlled manner
Yep.
under 16 weeks out rather than just a free for all.
Yep.
Sometimes, again, you have people just losing a good bit of weight, and sometimes it is a free for all. Sometimes it's more just like, hey, just enjoy the wife, enjoy the husband, enjoy whatever you got going on this weekend, and back to it the next day, And then there's sometimes it's like, hey, I need 3 sushi rolls at this time. I need this meal eaten, and I need 3 more sushi rolls here. Like sometimes it's very, particular.
Mhm. Yeah, I think what I tend to do, because I like the way you worded that. It's like we're taking out the guarantee at 16 weeks out, but if we're doing our job, there's still going to be some along the way at minimum. Um, like and for us last prep, we figured out that it was like cheat meal Friday night, high carb Saturday, Sunday, and then deplete Monday through Thursday. And by Friday, I needed it again to
Yeah.
like bring me back to life. And we kind of kept that ebb and flow for a good bit. And then it became like, okay, now we're gonna push that cheat meal until like Sunday instead of Friday. And then it became okay, now we're just gonna pull it out for a week or two. Like it is what it is. But again, like we're also not prepping just to get fucking cheat meals.
Right.
Like let's remember that. Like we're prepping to get shredded out of our minds and win things. And those cheat meals are serving a lot of different purposes. What do you tend to, because I always have like a list of parameters, and as we get deeper into prep, there is more specificity of like, let's get, for me, I always try to pick, if we're doing like a chain restaurant like Chick-fil-A, Five Guys, McDonald's, one of those three, because I know no matter what city we're going to, one of those three is going to be there at minimum, and I know it's going to be consistent across the board.
Yeah.
So I think one of the dumbest things you can do, like one of the dumbest things you can do, is when your digestion is already super duper sensitive leading into peak week, or let's say Friday night when your coach tells you to, get those dry carbs in you for that diazide to work. Fucking idiots. Is going to a restaurant that you've never been to, you don't know how they're cooking it or what canola oil they're using back there, and then showing up pregnant the next day.
Yeah, it- it's definitely consistent. Like I'm like you. I use Chick-fil-A, Five Guys. Sushi is rare. Sushi usually up until about 6 weeks out. I don't
Mhm.
trust the raw meat at that time anymore. And if we're needing a cheat meal, we're more so needing the like sodium and fat more so than the sugary rice and lean protein. So that's usually why I go with more like greasier foods. Sometimes it's just a steak and
Mhm.
fries from a Longhorn or an Outback or something. But the thing is, it's consistent. So like, I'll ask, hey, what have you been eating for your free meals in the off season? It's usually a couple of the same things. It's like, all right, well, that's your meal. We're gonna keep that in when we do a free meal, and that's just it. We may have trial and error and be like, okay, yeah, let's try this week. Oh, yeah, that didn't work. All right, next time we'll do this. But you find what works in case you have that emergency situation where you got to eat a lot of food going into peak week and you just
Mhm.
have that on deck. This is my order. This is what I get. This is how they look. But I'm big on pulling them and leaving them up to me just because it's more of a like mental, like I don't need that gauging how you feel you're doing in a prep. Like I don't need, well, I'll get a free meal this weekend and then I'm doing good. And then you don't get a free meal. It's like, well, what did I do wrong? It's like nothing. You're 6 weeks out. It's just not time to eat a fucking cheeseburger. Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
just the bottom line, you know?
Like
Um,
especially the deeper you get into prep, it needs to be like the reward needs to be how you look on your check-in day, not that you get a cheat meal that night.
yeah, yeah. It's a very like you should be so fine-tuned at that point. It shouldn't fucking matter. Like the the extra rice or potato or oats should be like satisfying enough that you don't care. Like it's, the burger's cool and like it's awesome when your coach says to go get it, but it's I don't want to say it's an emergency situation, but I'll use them because like I don't have enough time to feed you for 5 days. So like I need to use this to get you filled out in two so we can keep digging again, like that type thing.
Yeah. It's like I'll use like, especially towards the end of a or the end of a peak week when like we're also trying to take into account like GI volume. I can get a little more bang for my buck if I do like 150 grams of rice and 4 ounces of fries versus just like 350 grams of rice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and so I'll say this, and ladies, I'm sorry, but you're usually not the ones getting the big meals.
No.
Females benefit majority. Now, I've had some females I can freaking feed.
Yeah.
Majority of them, though, it's like if we're doing a free meal, it's because like mentally I'm burying them, and I need something to like let them relax.
Mhm.
It's not so much the actual meal. But females respond usually the best with just less fatigue, which is dropping cardio, and like a little bit of oatmeal will send a female a very long way.
Yeah, for sure.
And because that's the thing is like you also need to look at them the next day, like after you're feeding them. And it's very rare a girl's not going to be a little distended from like a burger
Mhm.
and fry meal. So it's like that's one of my main variables is your midsection. I don't need that skewed when I'm looking at it. Um,
Mm-mm.
so yeah, that's why I tend to stay away from them. I'm trying to think, I feel like Candace ate a couple in her prep, but again, she's a big sushi person.
Mhm.
But it was more like a date night thing I think I put in, but she can eat
Yeah.
a lot of food.
Yeah.
Abby don't think got much. Callie has gotten a little bit. Gabby, poor Gabby. Yeah, Gabby didn't really get much.
All
Yeah.
right, Gabby. Yeah, Mary didn't get many at all, but she also was like didn't want them either, which made it a lot simpler for me.
Yeah.
Um, we just used. I mean, she was a person where it was like I wanted to use one, like Friday because she could consume a lot of food and just kept getting like drier and sharper. But I knew that it wouldn't have been perceived as a positive. You know, it would have driven anxiety at that point to be
Yeah.
like, are you sure? Like, what's my stomach going to do? So we just ate just a shitload of rice cakes, all of the rice cakes that we could get down.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is you have to know how it's going to affect your client mentally. That's the most important thing. And that goes back to, like I said, for females, most of the time it's a mental break rather than the actual food. For guys, usually because they're heavily muscled, I need their body to do something with that food more than the mental break.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait for the I don't know about you, but dude, I would eat a free meal and then just sweat ignorantly for like 10 hours.
Yeah.
I am so excited for that.
Because now, dude, I'll feed you. I'm not afraid.
Oh, he'll feed you for sure. Yeah.
I'm not afraid to feed you, but and that's the thing about it is like, because clients are like, why so much food? And I'm like, it's not like, I know you're going to be a little spilled, but I'm trying to refill you up for the next like push. And that push may be 7, 10, 12, 14 days. So like,
See, that's why like this is like so it's a double-edged sword because like oh I get a cheat meal and then like somewhere in me I'm like oh this shit's gonna hurt in like 2 days
yeah,
because like it's gonna suck.
yeah, I'm reeling you in to just send you back out to the deep end because it's,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
You're like, why is
So
he
that's
being so nice?
I'm like wow I'm doing great. I
Yeah.
get that much food. It's like no, your life's gonna be ruined by Wednesday,
Yeah.
and you're gonna
And
wish you never had it.
then the diet update's like 40 grams of oats.
2 hours of cardio. Can't wait, coach. Um, so yeah, not even try, remove the ideal that one cheat meals are the end all be all, that it is the way to dictate your progress or it's a reward or whatever. Yes, it's a great thing. It's great in that moment. I think to Alex's point, it's a lot of times it's being used for the psychological side of things. So you're able to have these moments of normalcy. You're able to take your girlfriend on a date or your wife on a date or whoever, or spend some time with your buddies and just not have to like think for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
So I think it provides a ton of value too. But yeah, use your check-ins as your value system, not if you get a cheat meal or not. Um, Next thing, so obviously we just had the Arnold, and quite a few men's physique pros are now boycotting the Arnold due to the glaring differences in prize winnings. What are your thoughts on this?
I don't think it's that alone. I think it's that on top of Arnold
Yeah,
dogging the division.
yeah,
So it's like, why would I want to go do this guy's show? Because he's clearly not going to raise our prize money because he doesn't even like us on stage.
mm-mm,
And it's like, why would I like if the prize money was 100 grand and he said that, it'd be like, fuck off, dude. I'm coming to take your 100 grand.
for
But
sure.
if it's what, 10, 15,
And
25, 10, yeah, it's like, why do I care to win the Arnold?
yeah,
He doesn't even like us.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, I agree with them, like no one's making you do the Arnold. The
yeah.
Arnold, and then it's an invitational. Um, and there's plenty of other great shows out there that they could go do. You don't really get the notoriety in that division either from winning the Arnold as you do the Olympia. So yeah, if the prize money's not there, then I don't see why, you know, go if Arnold doesn't like it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I wholeheartedly agree. I think one, I just like, and granted, it's Arnold's show. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. I just don't really comprehend the idea of we're going to take away over the last few years, we've taken away nearly all of the divisions that are there, at least the majority of them.
So
Um,
what's gone? Figures gone,
Figure, women's physique, uh,
212,
212,
women's
women's open.
bodybuilding. Um, yeah, so basically what he did was like any not cream of the crop in popularity division, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
Is what he did.
yeah,
As a promoter, he has every right to do that. And
Hmm.
honestly, I think it makes the show run very well. That's why the show's on and when it's supposed to be on and it's over when it's supposed to be over. So I think from a promotional standpoint, and it's an invite only, it's a very special, secluded show.
Yeah.
I like that.
Hmm.
Do I think it's fair? No. I would love to see Figure up there. I'd love to see, 212 up there. I think I don't like excluding divisions because it's like he's like really just slapping them in the face, like you really don't matter. But like because even if you just had 10 from each division, it's like, it doesn't take that long.
Yeah.
Even because they put half of them on the expo stage anyway. So it's like a free show.
Hmm.
So I don't know, man. Like, Arnold makes so much money, he can do what he wants for it. Like I'm not gonna say no. I mean, I probably want to. I don't see him having the fit model division unless it's making a fuck ton of money.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
What What are your thoughts on the glaring differences in the prize winnings between classic, men's physique, bikini, wellness, open? Like what are your thoughts there?
I think there's a reason that bodybuilding is the top. Like I
Mhm.
think that it's because that's the thing is people are gonna be like, oh, well, like they don't bring seats. Like if you look at the crowd, who's there for the open bodybuilding showdown?
Mhm.
It's not like the amateur level, yes, no one's there for fucking bodybuilding. But at the pro show, at the pro shows and at the Arnold and the Olympia, everyone stays for the open bodybuilding.
Mhm.
And so I'm not saying the others don't deserve more. I
Mhm.
do think that, like, yes, there needs to be a tier of like, yeah, bodybuilding should stay on top, but like, it shouldn't be 500 grand and then 10 grand.
That's what
Like
I'm saying. Like
that,
that's
the
wild.
discrepancy is a little disrespectful.
Yeah.
Um, I think 25 grand is still great.
Yeah.
That's it's a honorable prize. Because like the clout that bikini and men's classic physique and wellness get from winning the Arnold is very big. And a
Yeah.
lot of girls go to the Arnold for bikini and wellness. And they're also there for the expo and doing all that. But like I think if any class were to jump up first, it would be bikini and wellness in
Mhm.
prize money. Um, do I see it ever catching men's open? No.
No.
Um, because, and that's the difference in, yeah, social media influence and then literal bodies in the seat.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, because we could sit here, I guarantee, man, I would love to see the metrics on it of viewership for each division as they're going on. But it would be hard to say. And I understand like open is open and it is a separate entity in itself. But I know collectively, if you took the viewership of men's physique, classic physique, wellness, and bikini, it could potentially match, if not exceed open
Yeah.
based on the current generation of people, right, who are coming into this, right? So if we're looking at this from like a business perspective and viewership, we have to take that in consideration of like, okay, if bikini and wellness are collectively getting as many views, bringing as many people to buy, tickets or live streams or whatever as open is, financially, we need to at least get in the direction
Yeah.
of,
Yeah.
right, like at least sort of, again, because I mean, some of these people are paying 10 grand in IGF-1 for their prep. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
um,
They need to definitely like get a little more in for the other divisions because like, the females in the sport of bodybuilding run it in terms of finances. If you break down shows, who pays the most?
women.
Women. Suits, tan, hair, makeup, posing, like literally everything. Who has all the accessories? Who has all the fucking bags, the jewelry, the like women. Women spend the money. They need the most. They have the highest demand for money in their divisions to even compete. Like, so they're the most expensive to do it. At least like compensate them.
Yeah,
Like to me, the women need more money first than men's physique, if you want me to be really
absolutely.
honest.
Absolutely.
Look take the guy who won and walk him through the Arnold Expo. and then take Laura Lee through the Arnold Expo. Who's getting stopped?
Laura Lee.
Laura Lee by dudes. We're
Yeah.
stopping her along with all of our bikini clients too.
Yeah.
Like it's all like we're fans of the women. I
Mhm.
don't think the women are big fans of the men's physique pros.
Yeah. No. And I think the other thing too, man, is like men's physique. Obviously, men's physique has gotten shit on since its beginnings, and there have been times where I think it's been rightfully shit on. But nowadays, dude, I can't say that it's not a division worth watching at a pro level. I think, or even a national level.
They're amazing. Yeah.
They're amazing, and also from like a coach's perspective, dude, you can see like a fractional difference in a peak quality completely obliterating a placing.
Yeah.
You know, if someone shows up 98.9% instead of 99%, holy fuck, right? So I think it's fascinating for that. But I'm also going to say at a regional level, dude, classic physique is becoming lame. And when I say this is because men's physique might only have like 30 dudes in it in a show now. 10 of them look the part, right? Classic will have 85 dudes show up and four of them look the part.
Yeah, the problem and again, like we're running into that issue that the barrier for entry, everyone assumes that classic is like, oh, I'm too small for bodybuilding. But they're just we end up just with small people on stage. Like they're just
Yeah.
not developed in either direction. And men's physique is just for the smaller people, and again, this is at the local level, for the smaller people who just don't have legs. But like then you get the randoms who look amazing and they have that look. Like I've got a client and I'm like, dude, you look like a fucking GQ model. Like I don't know what it is, but you have that look. And it's just like with a bikini look. Like when you have it, you have it. And so you'll have a couple of those in those groups, but that's the problem with those divisions at the local level. And so, yes, they are more popular by numbers where we're at. And yeah, they're more popular, like they're more heavily numbered at the Olympia. But the reason they're heavily numbered at the Olympia is look how many show opportunities there are. Because the fee to have pro men's physique is not near the fee as it is to have pro bodybuilding, nor is
Yeah.
the prize money. So like you can have the status as a promoter, but oh, I'm a pro am, but you only have like masters this, and this, and you have one open bikini and open men's physique, but you're a pro am. But no, you
Yeah.
just like penny pinch the easiest divisions to get to claim yourself as that.
Yeah.
And that's how you end up with 108 people on the Olympia stage. So you know, I, I I don't know how you fix it because that's just where the sport is at this point. Like you get people who are not ready for those divisions and then they just go upstream and then they eventually turn pro and they're not ready to be pro. Like the people that it's the top dogs in men's physique and in classic physique are years ahead of everyone else, like years. And I think we unfortunately see that at the local level.
Mhm.
But it's like it's not on us to tell them, oh, you can't compete. It's just like you gotta understand there's such a far gap between you and those people. And so yeah, and because everyone's argument now is like classic physique is saving bodybuilding. It's like it's not saving it, it's deepening pockets of promoters at local shows, and it's keeping the popularity amongst like average gym goers because they think it's more attainable. But
Yeah.
those same people aren't going pro. The
Mm-mm.
ones going pro are fucking dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's saving it maybe on a local level, but not at the big stage.
No, absolutely not. I do think the idea of, because I know they're tossed around the idea at the Olympia of doing like a prelim round for men's physique, and they need to do it for classic too,
Mhm.
where they're basically just narrowing the field down to like 10 or 15 people come actual show day.
Yeah.
I think they need to do that.
Yeah, I know, I agree. I think another thing with those divisions too, man, is they attract people who don't even want to compete. Like a lot of those people are just Bumstead fans. Like they don't
Or
even
you see it backstage. You see it backstage when you
yeah.
see a dude who is 14 weeks out and has a shitty mustache and half a mullet and goes out there and tries to hit a vacuum. And that's like, he's Bumstead at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So yeah, if I were to like put a statement on this, I would say yes, there needs to be a little more even distribution. But I think the people getting paid should be the bikini and wellness first,
Yeah.
because they're the ones. If you look at the industry as a whole, they're the ones who are popular.
Mhm.
Like it's very rare. Like these girls like know these pros. People
Mhm.
on my team, like I had to explain to him who John Jewett was, and I would be like, Renee Jewett, the Roxy, whatever her Instagram name is. Oh yeah. I'm like, okay, well, she has a husband. That's how I explained what J3 University
That's
was.
insane.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. So like, but like with me and you, we're like, oh yeah, John Jewett, fuck yeah. Them,
Yeah.
they're like, oh, she's married. Okay, that's who that is. Oh my gosh, I love her. Like
Yeah.
so, like women, and again, it goes back into, if you look at the gym floor now, how many fucking girls are training? Like training like dogs. Like it blows my mind. And then so like to me, local level all the way up, like deserve more than some of these male divisions. Just my opinion.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, I very much agree, man. I remember seeing like it was Kentucky Derby 2019. Dude, there's 112 women bikini girls at that
Yeah,
show
dude,
for
perfect,
a region show.
perfect example here, man. Look at the Nashville Fit Show. A banger of the show. Probably the biggest show in the Southeast, probably in the whole South, probably this side of the fucking US. If we did that with a guys only show, we would have four people there.
Dude, it would be so lame.
Yeah, it'd
It
be
would
me,
be so
you, and
lame.
two of our friends, like looking at each other. Like no one would want to come do it. But because
No,
you can't build that much hype around, because like the big bodybuilders don't want to come compete against each other. They want to go to nationals, right? And so like, no one's getting really hyped up for the other stuff, but like girls put bodies in the seats. And I've seen it. Like
absolutely.
that's why bikini goes last. It's so no one fucking leaves.
Yeah. Dude, that show is insane to witness in person. And I'll say this myself, like I've got one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I've got 14 shows I'm going to this year for athletes or I'm in them.
Mm.
That is the only show that I choose to go to, if whether I have an athlete there or not, just to watch it because it is so damn impressive from top to bottom. It
Yeah.
also helps, like to me, I feel like it's helping set the standard of what they want to see.
Yeah, and we need more shows positioned like that one. Um, Hell, if it's girls only, cool. Because like I'm bringing my crew. Like I love that show.
Yeah,
That's I don't know. I don't know how guys keep up with that. I think over the years, especially now with Fit Model coming in, whether you like it or not, I think the girls are going to take over. I think also I'm like 7% gay now. It's gone up this podcast from 5. Because I'm really like pro women right now. So,
oh yeah, dude.
but yeah, I got ladies, I got your back, like, because
Yeah,
again, man, like when you think about it, like the, I'm just thinking of everyone on my team, like they watch the Olympia and the Arnold just more than the guys, probably. They keep up with it.
we're just going to be super pro women because the other thing I'm going to say too is, in my experience of being a coach, I think female athletes are vastly easier to coach.
Uh,
I think women are always better athletes. They're more,
yeah,
I'm sorry, there's a lag. They're more detail oriented. They're more monotonous about the process. Like they don't. It's just so much. It's so much easier. And I love my guys. There's a reason that if I'm kicking people off, it tends to be males because there's always an ego issue.
yeah, yeah, and that's the biggest thing with guys is they don't, unless they're like military background or athlete background. It's tough to get guys to like fully buy in. Like they
Mhm.
and everyone knows on my team I love them. I don't need to preface that, but like you almost have to pitch it like this is an us decision. Where like girls come to you telling you what they hate and what they want fixed and what they don't like and what they really like. And
I love that.
they're like, just fix me. I like just do it. Like I hate this, and they're pinching and pointing, and you're like, yes. And like the biggest thing with a female is once you teach them that they're strong, it is game over. And my girls will walk to the end of the earth for me. They would ride or die for me. I don't ever worry about a female client leaving me at all. Like unless it's something like
Mm,
life related. Like my girls are with me to the end. And um
yeah.
yeah, I'm a great coach, but it's more so like once they buy in and they see that result, it's they're in. Like they don't need anything else. It's like this is like we got you.
Yeah.
And guys, it's a little tougher because like they want to do stuff on their own, they want to make their own decisions, they've got that ego, they saw a video of someone else doing this and their buddy said this, and what do you think of this? And it's like girls are just like, I don't care, my coach says this. Like they don't give a fuck. Like, no, my
Yeah.
coach says this. And they will fight you for us. Like big time.
Yeah. So thank you. We appreciate
Yeah.
you. Um, I've had I've never had a dude ask for more cardio in prep. I've had a lot of women ask for more cardio. Like that to me says enough. Where they're like right now, one of my athletes, Morgan, she's killing it for her first show. She's like, "Hey, it would just make me feel better if I was doing more cardio right now." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Hats off to you for even asking of that."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I probably wouldn't. You know what I mean? Like
Dude, yeah.
that's just
You're-
me.
they're like, get these
All of
carbs
us.
out of here. They're like, just take all the food away. I don't care.
I'm like, okay, fuck it. I guess we'll just throw it away. So that's why I always tell people like I love particular, I like specific, I like direct. And I feel as if a majority of times a female client provides that. Whereas dudes, it's like sometimes, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And again, like I love coaching, but obviously I love coaching body. I love coaching any division. Like I had
Mhm.
somebody ask me, like, me and Luke were talking about it. He's like, what divisions do you like coaching? I was like, honestly, like if I had my choice, it'd be bodybuilding and bikini. And they're two polar fucking opposite. Like,
Hell yeah.
but that's what I like. But I will coach any fucking division as long as you work hard.
Hmm.
And that's the thing that I wish that people would get. Like, I don't care. Like, you can do whatever division you want, or is we're gonna like I'm educated enough to bring you to that standard of that division, but like you just have to have that work ethic behind it to match. But yeah, I think all in all, man, like we're gonna be the next women's only show production. So
Do we are our listener demographic is 67% women.
that's wild.
Yeah. Which
Um,
I'm so surprised at because we're I mean, I'm 15%, you're 7%, you know, that's
but
it.
but again, man, it goes into the guys don't want to hear like they just want to do their thing, like.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's cool. I don't need to listen to, them talk because like they give me the plan. And like I love that. Like everyone's coach this, but it goes down to like just very basic what's the word? I'm trying psychology. All right.
Mhm.
Women are more emotional and then men are obviously not. So it's like, okay, well, what's going to engage more? Like someone who's a little more emotional and who's like, needs more interaction or engagement and stuff like that, where like guys can just have a plan and like, oh, what's up? Thanks, bro. Like, got it. Like, so it makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. Um, what poses would you add, subtract, or change from each division? This one I had so much fun thinking about.
All right. We'll start with the guys. Start
Yep.
with men's physique. I would love to see a front double and a back double.
Yes.
I think that'd be great. I don't care about the shorts, man. Like shorts don't bother me.
The shorts are also getting shorter and tighter every year. So like we're seeing more every year anyways.
Yeah, like they're jacked. Like these men's physique pros are jacked. They're bigger than a lot of bodybuilders that win local shows. So,
Absolutely.
classic, I would love to see a front lat spread. And I would absolutely ban the bow and arrow pose.
Absolutely. Yes. Open any changes?
Um, the side tricep, the where you step out, I would allow that where they like the step out to the front.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, I I wish there was something not so awkward on the front relaxed. Like, okay, if you're doing a front relaxed in front of someone who doesn't know what bodybuilding is, like how awkward is that? It's very awkward,
No.
right? Yeah.
That's it.
But like if you know bodybuilding, you can be very impressed by front relaxed. But if you don't, it's a little strange. Um,
Yep.
yeah.
I
But
would remove front and back relaxed out of open. I don't think
yeah.
either are necessary. Um, in a
Which is
certain degree,
which is funny because those are the most necessary to win.
absolutely, absolutely. But I would say in open because we have a front lat spread. I think that's more holds more weight of a pose in my opinion over a
Yeah.
front relaxed. Same with back relaxed. I just don't think it holds a lot of weight given that there's a back lat spread provided. That's the only thing I would change about open classic. I would probably also remove. Well, I would thank you for advocating for a front lat spread as it's my best pose that I never get to hit. Um, I would say either most muscular or back lat as well in classic. I think would help kind of like thin the herd
Yeah.
in some degree. Um, I think men's physique front and back double would be sick as fuck. So I agree there.
Because those guys are peeled, man.
It'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Like Ryan Terry hitting a back double would look nuts
Yeah.
on stage.
I'm definitely 10% gay now.
Shout out Ryan. Um, where it gets real fun is I'm gonna say like so in women's poses, I think if we're gonna start, or you want to start bikini and work our way up?
I think bikini's great. I don't want to change anything about it. I love bikini. Don't change anything on that.
Okay.
Um, the fit model division, I hate them. I hate the poses. Get out. Get it
Yeah.
out.
It
Do
looks
do
like
bikini. Do like, oh my God. I don't know why. I can't imagine anyone looking good in that front pose. Like,
I look decent in it.
I can't, like I can't think of a single person who just can look amazing in that. Like it just do the normal bikini pose. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's I understand you're trying to differentiate yourself, but that drives me crazy. Um Bikini don't change. I don't know what you would want wellness to change. Like,
Mm-mm.
nothing. I think if we were to remove one the side, like the quarter turn pose,
Yes.
but they judge so much on that like glute there. Um,
But I could argue that putting that side pose in bikini would really thin the herd when it comes to structural differences.
yeah, it takes away the elegance of bikini,
Yeah,
man.
that's true. That's true. I'll
Um,
redact that. Um,
the side figure, keep it. I love figure.
Figure's perfect. If I would love figure as a whole, if there are any figure competitors out there, please sign up with me. Um, Women's physiques. This is when I really had some opinions. I think women's physique, because again, and also my opinion, it's more of a fact. I think generally speaking, women are always going to be better posers than dudes, 1,000% through and through. They really, if they've even practiced remotely a little bit, because dudes are just weird and stiff and awkward. Women's physique, especially, I think they should have their own version of a. I don't want to call it a favorite classic but I think they should have their own opportunity to be able to hit a pose as such because I one think that they're posing, but also from a creativity perspective. You know what I mean? Like I can't think of her name. She poses with Terrence Ruffin a lot.
The real
Uh,
the real Lois Lane.
yeah,
Yeah.
like that woman is why I think women's physique should have more freedom in their posing is because of what she can produce.
Yeah. Um, I think if I were to take away one, it'd be the side chest. There's just not much like I know you can display the quads, you can display the cross striations on the chest, but I think a side tricep is a very beautiful shot. So I still think
Mhm.
it keeps that elegance. I think you could like how classic physique for guys does the side chest, but not the side tri. I think for the women, you could do the side tri, not the side chest.
Yeah.
Because yeah, it can be a pretty sick shot. Um, Fitness, I think I just wish that they would judge harder on the physiques. That's the only
Yeah.
thing. Um, I don't know why it's not 50-50, like
Agree.
50% physique, 50% routine. I think that's
Mhm.
fair. I think it's still a bodybuilding, you're at a bodybuilding show. Um,
And I say this because I had this conversation actually yesterday at the gym because I mean no disrespect by it because I do think the ability to get that conditioned and do acrobatics is absurd. Okay, just to be able to do acrobatics is absurd. I've never done a cartwheel in my life, you
Yeah.
know. So like take that out of it. And from a coaching perspective, I think it's fascinating that you're not able to use aromatase inhibitors to get these women dry because it's going to affect ligaments and tendon health. So it's like it's very specific and it's very impressive to me. That being said, the glaring difference using Body B1 last year as an example, the glaring difference of physique from first to fifth.
Yeah.
Do you remember the girl who got fifth? And no
Uh,
disrespect to her, I'm not trying to shit on her, but she just looked like a young gymnast. Like she didn't have muscle.
yeah, I don't remember her at all. I remember Haley Lisenby's client. Shout out to her. She won it, which was
Yeah,
awesome.
it was incredible.
She had an amazing physique. And so that's the thing is like I think that's this because like we look at, you have Anna Adams, Tiffany Chandler. Those are like all three right there that we know who compete at like the highest level. And their physiques are great. Like they're, muscle, their condition. But then like you'll see like some people turn pro who their physique is they're nowhere near them. And that's my only argument with the division. I love the division. I hope the division stays. I think it's badass that they get up there and do that type of, acrobats and gymnast type stuff. I think it really like bridges the gap for athletics and bodybuilding.
Mhm.
I just wish there was a little, I just wish it was even on the criteria because there's such a huge discrepancy. Like you'll get some very amateur looking physiques on a big pro stage. And it's like, wow, like it sucks. Like it sucks to see.
It does, right? Because it's like I think of like Anna or Missy or any of those women, like, and it's like, dude, these people were I mean, they could shit kick some people in figure, and then they're also going to go do some somersaults. Like that's insane to me.
Yeah.
Then it's like you get someone who just had like a competitive cheer background and maybe hasn't really worked out a lot, and they'd go in and you
Yeah.
know, I
Yeah.
mean, they're in their spot too, I guess, but it just doesn't feel the same.
Yeah, it's I don't know. And again, I think it's just us like because we love bodybuilding and we love the physique part of it. But yeah, that's my only thing with that. Yeah, women's bodybuilding can stay the same. Like I don't really have any ask for that.
I don't think there's any changes for that one. Yeah, I think the biggest one just being women's physique. I think they just need a more opportunity within the posing as well.
Yeah.
Y'all are, in my opinion, heavily underrated because man, I don't even know the last regional show I went to that had a women's physique competitor in it.
Yeah, it's always tough. Amanda Riddle Hoover, I would always help her husband peak her. And every time like the warm-up show or the qualifier show, like no one would be there. And she would look fucking amazing.
Mhm.
But like then you would go and like qualify to by default. And it's like, man, fuck. Like,
Let's go. Let's beat something on the way. You know?
yeah, because like she's that type of athlete that would want to, get beat by someone good than just go beat nobody. And
Yeah.
but I think that's just part of like there being so many shows, and that's a whole other topic.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Shout out to all the women who choose to go the route of figure and women's physique and women's bodybuilding because I think it's a testament in a lot of ways because you're going down a path that is going to be and a lot of times heavily criticized and not appreciated in the same regard.
mhm.
But a lot of people, I think the real ones know, like I'm telling you, like figure is probably my favorite division to watch on stage.
It's very beautiful. It's beautiful, man. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, it's yeah, it combines like elegance and beauty with like gnarly muscle. Um,
Yeah.
and then yeah, it's always been a favorite of mine.
So if anybody out there, you need a coach, let us know. Um, Alex, is that everything?
Man, yeah, we didn't do any personal questions.
Ooh, Coke or Pepsi?
Oh, Coke for sure in a bottle.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Diet or zero?
Well, now zero.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, if I'm, being normal, I'd just drink a regular one. Probably
Yeah.
haven't had a regular Coke since I was 12 years old,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. So I'm a Dr. Pepper guy first and foremost.
How do you feel about Pib Extra?
I'll drink Pib Extra for sure.
See, I'm going Pib Extra. And if we're at Fountains, I'm going Pib Extra over Dr. Pepper.
Okay, fair. How do you have you ever had cheer wine?
What?
Cheerwine.
Is that like a West Virginia thing?
No, it's like a South Carolina thing.
Oh,
I don't know how I discovered it. So if you were to take like a cherry Dr. Pepper, it's like a 70% Dr. Pepper, 30% cherry.
yeah.
You flip that, and that's what Cheerwine tastes like.
Okay.
It is everything that I could ever dream. It's probably like 8 gallons of red 40 in the bottle, but dude, it
Yeah.
is. And they have a diet version, so from time to time, I
You-
party
You'll dabble in that.
for
That's
sure.
interesting. I've never heard of that.
I'll get you some, dude. It is if you. I'm gonna say if you like cough syrup, you're
Yeah.
in.
So we have a drink. Have you heard of Sundrop?
Fuck yeah, I've heard of
Okay.
Sundrop.
Sundrop slaps.
Yeah, it does, dude.
Yeah.
It's good.
That's a little southern thing for sure. Um, I'm trying to think if I had a question for you. Do you have a death row meal?
You ready?
I mean, yeah.
Okay, so let me ask. I have to have a couple parameters within this because I smoke a lot of weed, so I think about this often. Unlimited stomach capacity.
I mean, yeah, let's just assume the prison's not going to give you a buffet, but like, you know, you
All
get to
right.
order, a meal.
All right. All right. All right. All right. Okay. Um, this is tough. Um, I'm gonna go if we're going breakfast round, okay, because we're gonna go rounds with this. I'm going my grandpa makes blueberry pancakes. They are sought after in my life. I love them to death. I'm going those. I'm going biscuits and gravy for my grandmother. She makes the best biscuits and gravy ever. And then I'm going like the largest iced chai that you can get at Starbucks, like 15 of those. Um, I'm going one $5 donuts. That's breakfast portion. Moving forward, dude, honestly, I'm probably just going to go with a bunch of bullshit if we're being real. So I'm going Stewart's Hot Dogs, which is a chain up in West Virginia that nobody's ever heard of. I'm getting like 3 slaw dogs, onion rings, diet root beer from them. Um, Dinner, North Italia for sure. At least like 20 pieces of white tuna nigiri because I love white tuna. And then what? I haven't had ice cream in so long. I can't even think. No, dude, I'm getting an Oreo McFlurry extra Oreos and like 2 blunts. That's my yeah, for sure.
This is Chris's thoughts after dieting for 5 days.
Yeah, dude, I was thinking this in the fucking off season, bro. Like this, nothing changes.
Oh
Um,
my God.
what would yours be?
Fuck, dude, you're gonna die then. Like, they're not gonna have to give you
Buddy,
anything.
this is it. This is it. Like I don't give a
Uh,
shit at that point.
yeah, I didn't know we get a whole day to eat. I just thought it was a meal.
Well, okay, listen, this is again, you have to I'm not saying I'm eating that threat. I'm segmenting it by category and setting it on a table.
How have you not had ice? You don't eat ice cream a lot? I eat it every week.
Dude, I just haven't in my free meals recently.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, as your coach, I'm not gonna tell you otherwise, but
I know, like, I mean, I've had some McDonald's cookies, if we're being honest.
okay, all right. Chick-fil-A cookies are much better.
They are, but the convenience of McDonald's is I can DoorDash it and it's here in 11 minutes.
Okay, all right.
I did delete DoorDash
I know, I know.
and Uber
Proud of you.
Eats.
That's yeah. Chick-fil-A cookies are my fucking weakness. Yeah. It's for real listeners, they already know the go-to. Like dessert, Chick-fil-A cookies and milk and cookies, Ben and Jerry's.
Dude, you want to hear about some robbery real quick? I had I think it was like 2 free meals ago. I was like, dude, fuck it, I want Chick-fil-A. Ordered it, DoorDashed it, of course. Got 2 cookies. They showed up, they were brownies.
Oh,
They weren't fresh.
that's the word. Dude, yeah, okay. So here's a trick with Chick-fil-A. You're gonna order a 6 count and they're gonna want to give you the ones in the bag. You have to tell them you want 6 individual cookies. They're usually fresher.
Mhm.
And they're usually still warm. So
This is
yeah.
pro tips by the coaches union.
They
Uh,
go. Yeah.
Alex, what's your death row meal? Let's start breaking this down. Let's get into it.
All right, breakfast would be Cracker Barrel pancakes, eggs, bacon, and those biscuits. Just like the whole basket of biscuits and
Yeah.
jam. That's
Mhm.
probably it for breakfast. So, I mean, I want to feel good going to death too. Like I don't want to be tired all day. I probably got other stuff to do.
And I would be bloated for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe I could snatch my stomach before I'm in the casket. Lunch. Fuck, man. Dude, I'm like getting emotional thinking I'm actually about to die. Like I'd probably want to go like so my mom used to take me to this place like when we were like very poor when she like her and my dad split up and there was this place called the Diplomat Deli down like down the street here in Birmingham. But she knew the owner and he would let me and my brother eat for free.
Fuck yeah.
So yeah, I think if I'm like really gonna die, I would probably go there. And I
Yeah.
mean, granted, I was 4 years old, so I would get a grilled cheese and potato chips. And you know what? I'd probably just be like, fuck it, let's do this again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and then dinner, if I'm having to go out, like I'd probably go out with my usual Five Guys meal, which is two cheeseburgers and a large fry with bacon and ketchup. Um, but again, if I'm like literally dying, um, no, I probably wouldn't take my dad. I'd probably go eat somewhere with my brother. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, probably to uh yeah, fuck it. We'd probably go to Five Guys and just throw down. And on top of the usual dessert, I'd get the Oreo Dream, like the Oreo cheesecake from Cheesecake Factory.
Dude.
That one slaps, yeah.
Nice. Nice. That's it.
Yeah, just keep it simple.
Keep it light, keep it
Keep
tight,
it simple. Yeah, I gotta
Take
go.
a
I mean, I gotta have abs in that casket.
I was gonna say, dude, take a couple metformin, a little T3, and then
Dude, we'll shit when we die anyway. Like it'll all come out of us. So we'll be
that's what I'm
pretty
saying, dude. Like,
good.
just go for it. At that point,
Diet
what's
ha
the
diet
worst
has
that
just die.
the worst that happens is you throw up and you embarrass yourself, but you're dead anyways. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm binging for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
Like,
there's more that could be added to this list very easily.
yeah.
Um, no, you gotta have some nostalgic stuff in there for sure. I'd throw my mom's apple pie. She makes a hell of an apple pie. Um, After junior nationals, I went to go see her and she made me an apple pie. And I sat in my dad's recliner and ate the whole thing with a serving spoon.
Yeah.
Dude, it was awesome.
What did she bring to your last show? She
Banana muffins.
Yeah, those were good.
Those
Yeah.
are good too. Yeah, she made, I think, a dozen for me and I ate those alongside of the
Yeah.
apple pie. Um, oh, dude, I'm trying to think of what else. I go for days. I just love food.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jack Brown's. Oh, dude, Jack Brown's for sure.
Dude, yeah, I would eat there more if they just had if their burgers were just bigger. It was like I have
Yeah.
to eat like two of them and I'm still not really that full.
Yeah. I
Um,
think that and I don't know if they had a more room. Like, dude, I just don't like being shoulder to shoulder with people.
Dude, just honestly trying to park there gives me anxiety. Going in gives me anxiety. Like that whole place just like you're not gonna find me in there.
It stresses me out.
Gives me
Yeah.
anxiety, yeah. I'm that way though, man. Like I can't like that's why I don't really like to leave my house. I just, people will bother me.
This is why we do this
Yeah.
for ourselves, for a social interaction.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. It's why I like every day I'm like, oh man, I could leave, or I'm like, I could DoorDash, and then
Yeah.
I don't have to leave.
I have trust issues. I feel like they're not gonna get my order right.
They
So
rarely, they rarely do.
yeah. So that's why I rarely DoorDash unless it's like just a dessert. Like then
Hmm.
I'll DoorDash it. But if it's like a meal, I gotta go get it.
Yeah, I need to be, well, it doesn't matter now, but when that time comes, I will be better about it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, no, I've DoorDash was and has been a vice for me for far too long. So to delete it hurt me, but financially, I know it's going to pay off. So
We should put a disclaimer on like the last like 15 minutes of this episode where all we do is talk about food.
yeah,
Sorry, guys.
we both used to be fat. So that's my excuse for this. On that note, we're going to be on YouTube from here on out. So we appreciate you guys. Um, if you can leave us a 5-star review, if you can share on Instagram, share with your friends, all that good stuff, we would really appreciate it. If you guys can give us an idea for building out an intro, that would be sick as fuck. And if you guys ever need anything, our Instagrams are going to be in the description below. Until next time, thank you for listening to the Coaches Union.